Okay, hopefully this turns out better this time. I tried making this video last night, and long story short, I probably gave it a good, I don't know, 9 hours worth of attempts. It didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to. A lot of things that I really disliked about it. Finally figured it out, in a manner of speaking. I mean, I have no understanding of how to actually do any of this stuff in a halfway decent way, but had something that I was pretty happy with, something I was like, you know what, this is going to be beneficial to somebody. Going to go ahead and send it and hope for the best. And yeah, I learned the hard way that Discord has a limit to the memory space in a video that you want to upload. So after taking a lot of time to basically get absolutely nothing out of it, I'm going to try to get the same point across in as much detail in significantly less time. Um, if it's not apparent already, I'm doing some elite clues, and I went into pretty significant depth about some things that you can do as a brand new cluer, or some things that you may not have known about even if you were pretty experienced with doing clues. Because I'm just shy of 10,000 elite clues right now in the chat box there, and this is something that I did not fully grasp until, if I had to guess, probably 6 or 7,000 total elite clues. Um, I'm not going to draw this out any longer than it needs to be, but essentially, just to kind of capture a little interest here, um, I'm going to show you how to do a couple things that, for me, when I made these adjustments, in all honesty, not even trying to oh, make this sound better than what it's going to be, I doubled the amount of elite clues that I did per hour. Before this, I was probably getting 10, maybe 11 elites per hour, and now I'm pretty comfortably getting right around 20. Um, Obviously, it kind of fluctuates, it's like 19 to 21, but fair to say, doubled the amount of elites that I could do in an hour, and it's not something that is difficult to do. It's not something that, you have to do a bunch of quests to unlock some reward. It's very simple. It's not the easiest to perfect, but it's incredibly easy to get the basic concept of. And that's what we're going to be attempting to illustrate here with this. So essentially, you can save a remarkable amount of time doing your elite clues specifically with these scan steps. So I've got the one for the Haunted Woods. So I'm going to show you a couple things that you can pay attention to. So I know for me personally, I'd see this little circle under my feet when I was doing scan clues, and I never really thought much of it. Um, but for anyone that's not aware, they absolutely mean something here. So I'm going to run away from the area that I actually need to be at, just so we can show a progression here. So now the circle's blue, and what that means is we're nowhere near the actual clue location. That when you see that, it should indicate to you I'm not going the right direction. Now when it turns orange like this, that means that you're not quite within range, but the direction that you're going is correct. And now that I'm in range of the clue itself, it turns red. Now, some people, you're probably hearing that, and, maybe you didn't know about that. In which case, great. We're all about trying to learn these things here. But what you might not have known, and what I didn't know, is that I am not very good at solving these clues while I'm talking. But what you might not have known is that you can use that information to significantly cut down on your search radius. So we'll use this scan as an example. Anyone that's done clues, or even if you haven't, you can understand that this area is large. This clue can be anywhere in the city. It can be along this entire stretch up here. It can be in this way back corner. It could be way down here. I mean, almost the entire island is potentially where the clue is actually at. But by using that information, just paying attention to the colors and when and if they change, you can significantly cut down on your time. So you saw that it was blue before and now it's orange. At a very basic concept, what I want to get people to think about is if you're heading north and you see that change where it turns orange, even though this might seem like common sense, it's important to keep in mind that essentially tells you that north is where you need to be going. And as obvious as that might sound, if you use that in combination with, say, hypothetically, you're running east, and then you were orange, and then all of a sudden it turns blue, you can also think of it as like, okay, not necessarily just, oh, it's blue now, so I know east is the wrong direction. No, you know that north and west are where you need to be going. And if you have a giant area like Mos Harmless where we were at, and you look at this entire island and you go, okay, I need to be north and I need to be west. That's only 1/4 of the map that you have to check. You can confidently know that the entire rest of this island, you don't even have to go run through it. I know for me, for the longest time when I was solving clues, I'd be kind of running around like a chicken with its head cut off. I wouldn't feel confident that I didn't have to check an area, so I'd just run around the entire island, and it worked. You kind of brute force your way through it, but it doesn't have to be like that. And not only does it not have to be like that, but it absolutely shouldn't be like that. So this is a very good example where I can be able to explain it as I go. So this is another clue that I imagine most people, if they don't dislike it now, they probably will. I know me personally, I hate this clue. Well, I should say I used to hate this clue step, because it's, again, a very large area that you have to check. But I'm going to show you a couple specific places that you can go to where you can literally, well, maybe this isn't the greatest example, but you see it turned orange. I was heading northeast a little bit, so I'm not even going to worry about the entire west part of these islands. I know it's not going to be over there. And it's really interesting when you can work out, okay, see, now that it turned blue like this here, that tells me it's probably going to be one of these center islands here. But it works out really nicely when you can very quickly discern which portion of the map you need to be at to solve the clue. Because, I mean, obviously it's going to eliminate a significant amount of your search time. My hope here is that I'll have an example where I can actually demonstrate that in what I consider to be the most, maybe fun isn't the right word, but there are some scan locations where if everything plays out, you can teleport to 2 places and immediately know where the clue is going to be. A couple of them that come to mind that are my absolute favorite. I obviously don't have the clue, so I can't demonstrate it, but if you have the Taverley Dungeon scan clue, and you teleport to the blue dragons with your Dungeoneering cape, right when you teleport, you don't have to go running around. Right when you teleport, if the circle's blue underneath your feet, what I like to do, let me see if I can just pull up the dungeon. Let's see. Where the hell is the Taverley Dungeon? Oh, that's right. Oh, thank God. That was not going to be my proudest moment if it took any longer than that. So, I mean, this is a pretty big area here. For a lot of people, myself included, I hated this clue step. No joke, this is my absolute favorite clue step right now. So, you teleport to the blue dragons with your Dungeoneering cape. It's going to put you about right in the middle here. If the circle's blue when you teleport here, and you run to about this corner here, and it's still blue, the only other thing you have to do is teleport to the Hellhounds with your Dungeoneering Cape, because it could potentially be in one of these two rooms. And if the circle's blue when you go to the Hellhounds as well, there's literally nowhere it can be other than this Black Knights area, and sometimes in this little room here. So, I mean, there's no other possibility. You don't have to look through the entire rest of that dungeon. And just for shits and giggles here, I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. So let's just say, hypothetically, I have the Taverley dungeon scan. This is what I do. I see that it's blue, kind of run over here a little bit. I see that it's still blue. I surge down here. I dive down here. I'm like, oh man, it's still blue. Dungeoneering Cape to the Hellhounds. Alright, the circle's blue. You know, hypothetically, let's roll with it. This is the only reason I have these archaeology teleports. You go to the collectors, you teleport to this Isora chick. It literally can't be anywhere other than down here or in this room. There's no other possibility. So just by those two teleports, I didn't have to search all of this BS or run through this little maze here that they designed in a way where you pretty much can't surge through. Yeah, it saves a huge amount of time. I think this is probably about as long as I can make this video before Discord tells me to get bent, so I hope that painted enough of a picture to where you kind of understand where I'm getting at here. If not, I can just make another video where I just kind of cut it down to only those clue scans. So, yeah, I mean, if there are any questions, let me know, and hopefully it helps somebody.